Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup, though. Started climbing my Porsche, got me locked in on cup, though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup, though. Started climbing my Porsche, got me locked in on cup, though.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, apologies for the delay there. We are away. The stream had crashed, so everything hadn't quite gone to plan. But here we are. We're off to the races already. It's straight into the action. I'm really sorry for the jarring start, and there's already a bit of contact being made. Zenik sends Robbie Bell across the escape road for turn 1 and 2. A little bit of collision, a bit of bump and grind going on with the Red Bulls, and in the back of the picture you can see that it's been absolutely swallowed up here for Edsters, who started upwards of like P5, I think, maybe P6. It's not gone well, and immediately off track there goes Afro, I think it is. He's been skittled in the first couple of corners, and then again, that is a bold move by Khan. Really aggressive at the inside of Edsters, probably a little bit too aggressive, to be honest with you. And there is a Red Bull. That's Robbie Bell. Robbie Bell's gone off at turn 7. He's now going to find himself in a world of hurt. He's already behind Carnosaur. Let's take a look at the tyre situation quickly, see what we're dealing with. Robbie Bell on the hard tyres, so he's going to have to go really long in this race, and he's already in a problematic spot here. As now up the inside through turn 10 goes Carnosaur. I think his teammate Powerhouse is going to let him have that one a little bit. Recognises he's on faster tyres, faster strategy for the time being, and it's going to have to just let him fly. Khan already up to P7 from P14 here in the opening lap of the Grand Prix. Really hustling on, but at the front, it's the two old dogs, and they've got so many new tricks to show you. It is Aaron and Johnny both fighting at the front of the field. Aaron on the medium compound tyres here, on the faster strategy at the start, and he's going to try and make this work against Johnny Nicholson, who is still pushing on these hard tyres. For the time being, though, Aaron's going to have such an advantage in terms of Delta. Zenik finally settling into a reasonable position back there in P3, but these two out front, their racecraft has been unmatched for the better part of 3 years here in TOTL Motorsport, and as such, we fully expect to see them just start to pull away if they're not using all their battery on this one. That's going to be Zenik, who's really in the hunt for them. We'll see from his point of view just how much battery he's using. 47% of the battery already gone just to try and stay in DRS. Meanwhile, Aaron, 79%, 62 for Johnny, as you can see. It's a bit of a tough situation here for Zenik, because you feel longer this goes on and the longer he's going to be fighting to keep in DRS, the worse position it's going to put him in. Either way, we'll keep an eye on that ERS over the course of the race. But Jay Rasta has made a move here on EOJ. He must have made a mistake, because he dropped off the back of Zenik very, very quickly. So not the start that he would have been hoping for here for Joseph. He's going to have to try and find a new way to come back at Rasta, and he pulls to the inside here. In towards turn 1 they go, 2 abreast, and up the inside he tries and makes it stick, but Rasta breaks exceptionally deep and gets the inside line for the switchback in towards turn 2 and holds P4 for the time being. That leaves EOJ now vulnerable to his teammate Phaser behind, and even the surging Khan coming from the back of the field. Anyway, still out front, Aaron tries to hound away at Jono. He's going to want to try and find a way past here sooner or later as Chard, because Nicholson is going to keep pressing on these hard tyres, and he's going to go for quite some time on them. Aaron really needs to make these tyres sing whilst they're still in the window to do so. Otherwise, he's going to be missing out on a lot of potential lap time, a lot of potential track position, and as such, I think he's really going to need to make it work this time around here. Through turn 13, he needs to prioritise getting a solid exit, and then really slam it down the inside in towards turn 1. The DRS is so powerful now with the faster entry onto the front straight, and we'll just see an example of that here. It's 0.4 of a second as they exit the final corner, and I'm sure by the end of this straight, Aaron will be right up on the back of Johnny, but it seems he's not really gaining all that much here. Interestingly enough, I'm curious, maybe Johnny is using a fair whack of battery to try and keep Aaron behind. I could see that Aaron definitely wasn't interested in using the battery all that much there. So we'll take a look at the ERS charts. Yeah, Johnny using a lot of battery to keep Aaron behind there. 20% he's down to as good as. But thankfully, I think recovery is okay on this track for ERS more generally. But that has only just prolonged the inevitable, I feel. The DRS is so potent here that at some point or another, Johnny is going to find himself coming under some serious threat from Aaron Chard behind. at the front, though. This looks like it's turning quite quickly into a 3-horse race. These guys, Zenik, Aaron, and Jono, all just keeping their noses clean at the front, and they are stretching away from the field. Jay Rasta behind is not really going to have much of an answer, but the one man who does is Carnosaur. Currently, Khan on the charge. He's got past EOJ. He's up 9 positions or 10 positions, I think 9 positions from his starting place in P14 from that qualifying ban that he takes because of his transgressions in the last race at Imola. And now looking to try and get past Jay Rasta here on this front straight. Up the front, I think Aaron's going to be going for a move. So is Khan. And he's going to have that one done cleanly. Johnny going to have to try and find a way back through against Aaron if he wants to be quick and sly about it. But for the time being, I fear that he may be the sandwich, the meat in this sandwich here. This medium tyre sandwich that's going on. Very defensive line there from Aaron. I don't think Johnny was going to have the grip on those hard tyres to try and slot one underneath him or even the drive. And now it looks like Johnny is under threat from Zenik behind. Zenik really bearing down on the back of that Haas car. Those medium tyres through these corners, these higher speed corners especially, will be really, really quick. Anywhere where he's got to do some braking as well, he'll be catching up to the back of that Haas very, very quickly. So for Zenik here, what is he going to be able to do? Of course, for the time being, Jono still has DRS on Aaron Chard in front. So Leon behind is really going to have to find a way to press on in this race and maybe have to dump a fair bit of battery to try and get by. Let's take a look at that battery. 33% for Zenik, 25% for Jono. So not really too much of a disparity. I wouldn't have said enough to make an overtake really available to Zenik there. So if I'm him, I'm going to be quite happy sitting in behind these guys who've got some pace at the moment up front and seeing what they've got. But there is going to be another part to this puzzle as Jono comes up the inside in turn 1. DRS helps him on the way through, completely blocks Aaron off on the exit of turn 2, and that's going to be a nice clean overtake. Block pass there. Johnny putting his car exactly where Aaron's wanted to be and doing it again here through turn 3 and into turn 4. Right in his way. Aaron is riding his gearbox, but unfortunately no way through these corners. Brilliant defensive driving there from Nicholson. Really holds the line well, and Aaron Chard going to have to use those years of racecraft that he's accumulated to try and find a way by the ever wily, ever witty Johnny Nicholson. Up the inside, though, horrible exit off of turn 8. Aaron wise not to go for a move through turn 9, but didn't really have a great opportunity to set that one up. And now, as such, compromised on the way into turn 9. He's under threat from Zenik, who's going to look to try and hang it out around the outside, but those medium tyres are on the Ferrari too. But a better exit from the corner from Zenik. He's now up the inside here in turn 11. Going to be up the inside into turn 12. That would be crazy, and unfortunately for Zenik, he's not able to make it work, but all that scrapping, all that fighting has brought one man to the party who none of these guys wanted to see. It is Khan. Bilal Khan has driven to the back of the leading trio and now makes it a quartet. These guys are under some serious threat now, as Aaron, of course, with those mistakes at the end of that lap there, not going to be close enough to launch an attack on Johnny Nicholson this time around. But it is going to be Zenik behind. Leon James looking to try and launch an attack on Aaron conversely, because the best form of defense, which he's now got to start thinking about, of course, because it is going to be Khan behind him, is attack. So if he can put a car between himself and Khan, that'll be great for him. And if that car can be Aaron Chard, all the better. We have been waiting, of course, for a proper Aaron Chard, Bilal Khan scrap for quite a number of seasons now. There's been a couple between myself and Khan. But yeah, not too many between Aaron and Khan directly, but this is a lovely little quartet we've got at the front here. And lots of recovery drives happening on throughout the field too. Maybe with a safety car, this quartet can become a quintet or even a sextuplet, as this might be a very interesting race to happen. Anyway, coming into this final sector now, Aaron Chard is going to have the DRS this time on Johnny Nicholson, as he did last time, but he's going to be much, much closer this time too. So can he find it? Battery on for Chard here, draining in a fair amount. There's no way he's not going to be able to get from behind Johnny here, and he is, as a matter of fact, makes it all the way through cleanly before turn 1 even arrives. Leon has crashed out of the session here in sector 2. And Khan is still scrapping away on the back, but EOJ and Rasta, moves going to be made here at the back. EOJ, I think, has been overtaken here by Jay Rasta up the inside into turn 1, and as such, turn 2 block pass again. We've seen him do that one time already, and he's made it stick a second time now. And now up through turn 4. It's another move up the inside, this time from Adam Lockett. Phaser really duffing up Joseph. A bit of contact on the entrance in towards turn 4. But again, turn 5. EOJ holds position for the time being. Phaser still looking to try and find his way through as he puts the car into apex here at turn 7, 8 and now 9. No ERS available for Jay Raster up front though, so I don't think he's going to be going anywhere in a particular hurry. DRS open here for the Alpine. You can see that the Aston Martin behind not really gaining too much time, but the real threats are coming. It is these two Red Bulls, this Red Bull pairing of Robbie Bell and Edsters coming up very, very quickly on the back of this little pack here. Up the front, Aaron is still in the lead, but we'll check in with him now as Johnny probably going to be looking to use that DRS. Maybe he'll sit behind for a lap, or is he going to go on by? Looks like he's going on by. Recognises that if he doesn't, he might be under threat from the guys behind. So keep swapping, chopping and changing positions here with Aaron Chard up front. And these guys further back are having an almighty scrap in towards turn 1. EOJ and Phaser. Phaser trying to do what he saw his teammate do last time, but this time EOJ has grown wise to it. The wily old fox has managed to find a way to put his car in the exact right place to stop that move happening again. He's already been done by an Aston Martin twice with that happening, and he's not going to let it happen to the other car this time around. Anyway, Robbie Bell is looking mighty mercenary on the back of Adam Lockett here. And if he's not careful, Lockett may soon lose touch with Joseph up ahead of him. And that's going to be a big old problem, of course. Because it means he's not going to have that DRS. And it's going to make that move oh so much easier for Robbie Bell up in front. But if Adam feels that Robbie has a little bit more pace than him, there's no reason why you might want to try and let him by. Maybe he can scrap with those cars ahead and maybe he can take advantage of an opportunity. But he's fighting him here into turn 10. A little bit of a messy exit from turn 9 left Phaser massively compromised. And of course, a man with the experience and veterancy of Robbie Bell has managed to pounce on that opportunity like a lion on some meat. And he's just gone and slipped right up the inside. And is now going to be trying to hunt on down with DRS onto the group ahead. Anyway, back up the front, again, chopping and changing for the lead. A little bit more defense, it looks, this time, offered from Johnny Nicholson. And I'm starting to think maybe that these medium tyres are going to be coming to their death very soon. These hard tyre runners are looking a little bit racier now, as, Quadrarat demonstratum, really, by Robbie Bell, who's managed to make his way back through the field in these last few laps. A little bit quicker than his teammate, who, conversely, is on those mediums. And we're seeing it that I think Johnny is having a little bit of an easier time sticking to the back of Aaron than Aaron is to Johnny. I think we've had a spin. I think Joshua Johnson has gone for a little trip in the tumble dryer. And he's going to be trying to recover his race here now. For the time being, back up the front. This little quartet is spicing up a little bit here. We'll keep our eyes on the little battle happening a bit further back from 5th through 9th. But for the time being, let's keep our eyes on these podium places. Keep our eyes on these leaders. Let's see what these tyres are going to do. Huge lap here from Aaron Chard as Johnny Nicholson has had a couple of mistakes, I feel, inside of this lap. And as such, he may be vulnerable now to Zenik from behind. Battery's going to go on here for Zenik, but he doesn't have a lot of it to use. I mean, you can see that Nicholson is flashing ahead of him as well. That means he's got less than 10% battery. But it's not going to be enough because look who's on the outside of him here. And he's going to be on the outside again in turn 2. It's Bilal Khan. Held as much battery as he possibly could. And now he's past Zenik. He's bided his time, he's waited for his chance, and he's made it stick this time up through turn 1. More battery, simply superior, and he'll have more battery again to get past Johnny Nicholson if Nicholson can't find a way to get back up to the rear of Aaron Chard up in front. Yellow flag in Sector 3. I think that's going to be Afro having gone for a spin. Not sure whether he's hit the wall here or not. Just going to try and get back on track, I feel. Yeah, looks like there is a little bit of end plate damage to that front wing. Might be enough to carry on, but he's going to go and box anyway. He's on those soft tyres. They will want to be sorted out pretty quickly. They'll be in a lot of pain right about now. So either way, probably the right call to go in and box as it is. Oh, big snap of oversteer there for Zenik. I think he's really overdriving the car here now to try and keep up to the back of these guys. I think Khan, cork in the bottle, has really forced the hand of these drivers up ahead of him. Khan now going to have the DRS on Nicholson. Nicholson up ahead, defending though, and keeping a decent run on Chard. Up the inside, he's going to make the move, and he's going to outbrake him in towards turn 1. Cut back here, trying to be attempted for Aaron Chard, but again, Nicholson places his car in the most perfect position through turn 1. That's one quality that Johnny has always had. It's just his car placement. It's so good, especially in defensive and attacking racing. You saw Aaron had a little bit of a half look up the inside there into turn 4. Just trying to keep Johnny honest, I feel. For the time being, though, Khan still looking mighty threatening to these guys, and Zenik is losing out to them. Going to have to really push on now through this second sector if he wants to remain in the DRS, because, of course, the guys in front of him, they have DRS too. So he's not going to gain anything on them by having DRS. It's just going to basically negate the damage. He's going to have to drive really well to catch back up with these guys, or they're going to have to start tripping each other up in a big way. Of course, he's still in that window for the time being, but going to have to wait just to see how this all pans out. Robbie Bell has managed to get himself into P5. He now leads this group that he has been scrapping with for quite some time, and these hard tyres are starting to look like they're really switching on now for Bell. He's going to have to try and press on a little bit more to try and break the back of this group, though. Further back there, though, I saw a bit of a scrap going on. It is EOJ and Phaser getting their elbows out with one another up into turn 1 as well. If you didn't see it at your timing screen, that is Johnny and Aaron going side by side. And, oh, this might present the opportunity that Khan was looking for. These two still fighting it out through turn 3. Going to have to slot back in for turn 4, but that was well held there by Johnny Nicholson. And now it looks like Bilal Khan is going to be trying to find a way up the outside of Aaron Chard here into turn 5. Can't quite make it work. Will try and get himself back on the racing line. But that is exactly what I'm talking about. That is what Zenik needed to get to the back of these guys. Them to trip each other up, start fighting with each other in a big way. And that has brought Zenik now right back to the picture. I think Chard will be feeling the wrath of Khan behind, though, as now he pulls out, tries to fake a move in towards turn 10. Not to be this time around, but Johnny Nicholson still commands the lead up front. Surely not going to last for much longer as we come through this final sector. The DRS will surely play foul to him once more on this lap, as he'll find himself overtaken. And if you're not careful here, you might find yourself not overtaken by just Aaron Chard. You might find yourself overtaken by Bilal Khan as well, because he's turned on the ERS. He's going for the move this time. He's up on the outside of Johnny Nicholson. He may even still be up on the outside of Aaron Chard. Doesn't try and outbrake him. Is satisfied with just the one position for now. And look at that. Great move there from Khan. Opportunistic for sure, but makes it work, makes it stick. It's nice and clean, and that's a bit of a mugging there for Johnny. He's not going to like that one bit, as he now has to try and fight back a little bit more against these two guys up front. And of course, for Jono, not a lot of battery really remaining for him still. 16%. If I'm Jono, I'm looking to really just settle in now and hold as much battery as I possibly can in this car. Just try and recoup as much as possible. So when these medium runners pit, I have a bit of battery to really press on with these hard tyres. But you can see him having a dab at the overtake button there up through the entrance to turn 9. And now again, not really going to be thinking anything of it through turn 10 though. Really is quite close enough at this stage. But this is going to be it now. This time around is where we want to keep our eyes glued to Bilal Khan, because he is going to be the man to look out for. He started this race in P14. In 14 laps, he might find his way into P1 here, as now he's going to turn on the afterburners. DRS open. It's extremely powerful here at Spain, as I've said already. He's going to pull to the outside of Aaron Chard. There's no defense offered here by Aaron. He's going to slot right back in behind, and Bilal Khan takes the race lead. What a nightmare this would be for his championship rivals. A little bit squirrely on the exit of turn 2 there, but it's not going to compromise him all that much. And now we get to see just how much pace Bilal has in this car to try and thrash it around this circuit, the Barcelona Catalunya. All 13 corners. Can he make a gap to the guys behind him, or are the tyres just maybe a little bit too far gone at this stage in the race? We'll soon find out. Back to the gap behind these guys, though. 10 seconds the gap. So Robbie Bell will be absolutely praying for a safety car. But still, Robbie Bell has again managed to maneuver his way to the front of this group. The DRS, I think, is really playing with these guys. They're all chopping and changing positions. You can see it's very volatile for them out here. And as such, Robbie Bell leads this group. But we have seen a couple of crazy moves out of these guys in towards turn 10 with the DRS active. This time it's going to be Jay Rasta with the opportunity to try and make that happen. Nothing on the offering this time around. Anyway, let's check back in at the front. Aaron Chard pulling a gap to Jono behind, but also a bit of a gap to Khan in front. He's not going to have enough room this time around, I think. He's going to have to make up too much ground in order to try and overtake by turn 1. So a great lap there from Bilal Khan, really demonstrating his pace on the pad. But that's EOJ in a wall, I think, over at turn 13. I think he's got it all wrong on the exit, and it's gone horrendously for him as the safety car now comes out right in the middle of where I would anticipate the pit stop window to be for both of these strategies, the medium and the hard. So we're going to have to see exactly what these guys elect to do. Joshua Johnson, Afro, and Burnsy have all hopped onto the medium tyres a variety of laps ago, but nobody else as of yet has made their stop. So what are we going to see here? Well, this safety car, I think it's safe to say, is exactly what Robbie Bell was hoping for, because it now gets him away, I suppose, from these rapscallions behind him and into the leading fray, exactly where he wants to be, exactly where he thinks he deserves to be with the pace that he puts in, with his working week worth of hours into the F1 game. Time trial merchant Robbie Bell strikes back. I'm just playing. Either way, I expect we will see a thorough round of pit stops this time around. If we don't, I'll be very, very surprised if anybody elects to stay out on their tyres. We see here Khan in the pits, Aaron in the pits, Johnny in the pits, Zenik in the pits. Everybody should be coming in here for their stops. It's going to be very, very awkward. I think the one person who's going to get really, really hurt by this is the man who just got a 3-second time penalty. It's Edsters, because he's going to have to come into the pits here and be stacked up behind Robbie Bell. And as such, he's going to lose time on the double stack stop. You see already he's had to stop. He's now going to get wheeled into the pit lane, and he's going to go for, what is that, soft tyres? Soft tyres? I don't think that's going to work out for you, Edsters, mate. That's really not gone according to plan there, I don't think. Same for, is that Phaser behind on the soft tyres too? Let's see what we've got here in terms of strategy. We have 3 drivers, all on the softs. That's J Rasta, Edsters, and Phaser. So both Aston Martins had that same problem as the Red Bulls there with getting held up. And as such, they're all on soft tyres. Everybody else gone to the hards or the mediums. And to be honest with you, there is one man who this safety car, I feel, may have benefited in the early stages of this. It's the one man up the front here who's going to be on these medium tyres, who's been a protagonist all race long. John O'Nicholson. On those faster tyres, has shown that he's got race-leading, race-winning pace here at this track. And with a little over 16 laps to go, we're going to find ourselves with one hell of a battle on our hands. So anyway, safety car's going to be out for a few more laps here. Let's have a look. I'm going to quickly just tab out and open the chat. If anyone's chatting, I'll have seen it. Moth AC. Oh, right. Go Khan. Randall in 11th, points incoming. Randall in 9th, points incoming, Dommy. That's the real one to talk about here. That's the real story. There is a man who is probably about to be lapped in and of the safety car. It is Afro. Really not having the practice in. Is really suffering for him here, but shout out to my boy. My ride or die. My day one king. Excuse me. Just making sure that everything's working stream-wise. Yes, it is. We're all good. Fantastic. Okay. All right, then.
Making sure that everything's working.
Oh, and the stream is even making noise for me. That's just great. We love that, don't we? Okay, perfect. Safety car is in this lap. We'll have some green flag racing soon to come. Very, very excited to see that green flag racing popping up here. Let's just make sure I've got the chat open in case anybody wants to say anything funny. Anyway, front of this field is where all the action's going to go down. Khan won last time out in Imola in a very tumultuous race. It was wet at the start. There was a variety of tyre strategies. It got wet towards the end. Is there going to be another opportunity for him to do a repeat performance here, back-to-back race wins here in Barcelona? He's leading the field, he's pacing the field, and he's elected to go, and he's completely caught Aaron Chard napping there. No way was Chard ready for that. And now up the outside, looks like Zenik is trying to make a charge on Nicholson. Everybody burning their batteries. Jono doing exactly that. You can see he's used a fair whack of it to try and stay ahead of Zenik, and he has done. Now, with the mechanical grip of the mediums, can he make hay? It seems that Robbie Bell really suffered on that restart there. He lost over a second to these guys ahead of him, who he really wanted to tack onto the back of, because he's got soft runners who are going to trip him up every which way over the course of these next, what, 11 laps here, or I can't even do maths, 14 laps, sorry, as he is going to really struggle. Up front, though, Khan has bolted like a horse from the stable. He is gone, and now Jono looks to have him in his sights. He's got to get by Aaron Chard first, but he needs to make these medium tyres sing, and Aaron Chard is really, really not able to get up to the back of him here, using clearly a lot of battery to try and close that gap. In fact, let's check in with Aaron. How much battery has he used? Considerably more than that of Khan. He's down to 59% here, hovering around 60%, and if he wants to get that gap back before the DRS window opens again, he's going to have to really press on. Anyway, what's it going to be here for Aaron Chard over the line? He's got 0.5 of a second behind him. He's got 1.2 seconds ahead of him. A fastest lap of the race there from Bilal Khan, a 14.3. Lightning's faster than everybody else, but Aaron Chard has used a lot of battery here, I feel, to get up to the back of him for that 1 second window. He's within a second, just needs to drive this lap to perfection here, and then maybe, just maybe, we'll have him right back where he needs to be in that DRS zone, because Khan has done some absolutely stonking driving on this safety car restart to hold his lead, maintain his advantage, and fend off any threat from behind. Speaking of behind, though, Robbie Bell has already been mugged by Jay Rasta, and Jay Rasta on those soft tyres is flying up to the back of Zenik, who I don't think is going to be able to maintain the pace of these guys up front on these fresher tyres. It just looks like he's not quite got the same edge that they do right here without the DRS being activated. Anyway, Aaron has stuck within that DRS window so far this lap. Just has one more sector to negotiate to ensure, to guarantee that he gets that DRS moving forward. He'll desperately want it. He'll desperately need it. And for the time being, he is going to be within that window. DRS gets activated on this time around the circuit. So you have to wait until the turn 9, basically, to get a dosing of that DRS for himself. It's a fastest lap here for Aaron, but an even faster lap here for Jay Rasta in 5th place. He's making some moves here to try and get to the back of Zenik. Really has to make these soft tyres work while they are going to, because this is a long time to have these soft tyres on the car. We already saw the mediums were starting to suffer by comparison to the hard tyres at one stage in this race. And now we don't want to see the same thing happen for the soft runners here, who make all this good progress and then end up dropping back, like Robbie Bell here. Not the start he wanted either. You can see on your timing screens, 1 second already back to Jay Rasta. Lots of pace being demonstrated there by the Aston Martin man. Anyway, Aaron Chard has lost that DRS now. It's Randall has retired from the session. It's another safety car here. You have to expect it. If Randall's in the race, there's going to be a safety car. And so there is. With 12 laps to go, do we see anybody strap on a different set of tyres? Maybe these soft runners. Do they elect to go to another set of softs if they have some? Do they elect to go to a set of mediums instead to have that really fresh rubber pretty much from now until the end of the race? What do they elect to do? No one going in the pit lane from the leading 4. Anybody going to make a rogue decision and hop on in? It would seem not. Everybody looking like they're staying out. There's a Red Bull in the pits. That's Edsters. I think he's realising that he on his soft tyres is not really making the progress that he wanted to. So he's going to make a change. See what he's got in the bank another set of soft tyres. So he's going to try and make these ones work straight to the end. 5 laps newer than the soft tyres around him. Going to be steaming through this field, I feel, on these soft tyres. But that 3-second time penalty so far not really attained by anybody else. He's going to be the only person with it, so really needs to make it count. So he's going to come out the back of the field here. Only person behind him is going to be Afro. So Edsters is going to have a lot of work to do on this safety car restart. Going to have probably around 10 laps to try and crunch through the entire field. I have no doubt in my mind that he'll be able to do it, but at the present he is going to be caught behind the Williams of Afro, who is yet to be lapped. So, at the front of the field, got some very feisty boys to be looking at now. I think this only plays into Jono Nicholson's hand even more, to be honest with you. Those medium tyres are going to be made to last just a little bit longer because they're not going to have much life taken out of them by this safety car. He's going to have just more pace, more mechanical grip, when these hard tyres aren't going to be fired up the same way either. Zenik also going to be under threat from these soft tyre runners behind. I think Robbie Bell's also going to be in a really good position here too, to try and pounce up on maybe a podium position if he is cunning enough. But for the time being, we've got a really big scrap to figure out at the front. Can Khan drive another sensational restart to get his way clear of Aaron Chard on that DRS restart? That's the big question. If the safety car comes in this lap, we will have to wait until lap 25 to get DRS back available. And that is going to be basically 2 to 3 laps that Chard is going to have to drive his socks off and be ready on this safety car restart to ensure that he does not get dropped off by Bilal Khan and does not get mugged by Jono Nicholson. Tough ask, I understand. The safety car is in this lap as all the drivers frantically start warming up their tyres down the back straight. Turn 10 braking zone. They're all going to be trying to weave or understeer the car in a bit. Oh, that's a rear shunt there. Khan, I think, gets the field a little bit too backed up, a bit too abruptly, and everybody has to react. You get a bit of a domino effect. Seems that no penalties handed out, though, so all good there. Everybody's still okay, I think, by the looks of things. No damage. So, when does Khan elect to go? When does he elect to pull the pin? Last time, it was any second now, but he's holding it a little bit longer. In fact, holding it all the way into turn 13, then goes for it right on the entrance to it. And again, completely catches Aaron Chard unaware. Look at the back of this field, though. Zenik, Aaron Chard, Jono Nicholson, 3 abreast. No room at the inn for Jay Rasta. Jono really going to have to try and make this one work up on the inside. Zenik also hampering him in. Oh, it's a big collision. It's a big scrap. It's a bit of a too optimistic of a move there from the Aston Martin of Jay Rasta. Jono Nicholson has been absolutely dusted up on this safety car restart. Zenik is gifting this race win to Khan at the moment with the way that he's driving. Jay Rasta is making his way on through. Robbie Bell is up in the fight as well, would you believe? And now up the inside, Zenik is looking again here. Another optimistic move potentially with an Aston Martin involved. Jono Nicholson going to be infuriated by that safety car restart. Has so much more work to do now. Has a 2-second gap to try and overcome to Khan up front. And that's going to be so difficult for him to try and gain back. especially difficult for Jay Rasta to try and gain back. His soft tyres are already relatively old on this car, and as such now, he's going to have so much time to try and make this work, and he's going to have so much time to watch those tyres just drop off the face of the planet as well. Edsters is also posing a threat to Jono Nicholson here up the inside of turn 12. That is so brave from Jono, and they're still locked in combat into turn 13. Great racing there from these two drivers. Edsters, of course, on these freshest tyres. He pitted onto that lap safety car to really try and make this one work. Soft tyres for Edsters, brand new soft tyres at that. Easily outbrakes Jono into turn 1, and Jono sticks his car in where he really shouldn't have done, yields it in the wrong way, and takes out, I think, Meikle in the process too. So how the mighty have fallen on this safety car restart. Johnny Nicholson just catches the back right of Edsters in that little exchange. Maybe he wasn't left the space that he was entitled to, but that is a disaster for Jono Nicholson, your pole sitter, down in P11 now. Has a lot of time to make up and a lot of time still left to do it, but I don't think he's going to be in contention for a podium here. Still has so much time to make up. Of course, 3 seconds to get to the back of Joshua Johnston, and then a further couple of seconds to get to the back of Edsters again, who, of course, on these soft tyres, is going to be making lots of moves in these coming laps. 3-second time penalty for Jono as well is not going to help things. His head's going to be in the bin after that incident. And, of course, the safety car restart in and of itself. And now Edsters really pushing on. DRS now to be enabled as he tries to crunch up to the back of Zenik here. But again, just nothing happening. Zenik using that battery to try and catch up to Phaser, catch up to the guys in front. Robbie Bell not also able to make a move here on Jay Rasta. And all the while, Khan gets further and further away from 14th on the grid. He is now 3 seconds clear at the front of this Grand Prix. And Jay Rasta, you have to think, cork in the bottle here. Just absolutely holding these guys up. On these soft tyres, he might have a bit of pace, but they're going to start to evaporate away from him. They are already going to be 8 laps old, I think, 7 to 8 laps old. I was worse, 9 laps. I was right the first time. 9 laps old on these soft tyres. Admittedly, they have been through a couple of safety cars, but even still, they're not going to be looking too good. Spain, a track really high on tyre wear. And as such, driving defensively, you can see Rasta clearly looking for Robbie Bell in his mirrors as he negotiates the back straight. Another crash in Sector 2, and that's no way is that another safety car. Safety cars breed safety cars, it would seem, here in TOTL, as one happens and then the rest seemingly follow. Now, is everybody going to pit for soft tyres? It seems that Khan is not, Jay Rasta is not, Bell is not, Chard is not, FaZe is not, Edster's not, Zenik is, Meikle is going to pit. Joshua Johnston is also going to pit. And Jono Nicholson, what have you got to lose, son? Might as well pit for fresh rubber. This might be the redemption that you're looking for here as he comes into the pit lane to get those soft tyres strapped on to the Haas car. A safety car restart. A absolute shootout here. It'll be done with, what, 4 laps to go? This is going to be a spicy little restart. Oh, that's not good driving there. Everybody having to slough on the brakes because Khan didn't recognise where the safety car was. Has Khan maybe made a mistake here, staying out on the hard tyres? Has everybody behind maybe made a mistake, staying out on these tyres? There are going to be some guys very, very quickly coming through this field on soft tyres who pretty much have no regard for who they're going to be fighting against. You can see them in the back of your shot there. It's going to be Joshua Johnston, Meikle, and Jono Nicholson. All of these guys are going to be pressing on with these soft tyres. You can see fresh as a daisy. Fresh mediums for Zenik too. They're going to be aggressive. They're going to be asserting themselves on this race. I'm sure of it. And I'm hoping, for their sake and for everybody else's, it doesn't get too messy. So, safety car surely going to be in this lap. We'll soon find out whether it is or not. Car looks to have been cleared off the track, so we'll see whether this is going to be a long one or a short one. Randall is out, such a fraud. Yeah, he is. Well, when Randall's out, you know, when Randall's on track, there's always a risk there's going to be a safety car, right? Anyway, safety car is in this lap. Soft tyres for Jay Rasta. 11 laps old, but at least 6 of those laps have been behind safety cars. Aaron Chard, 11 lap old hards. Robbie Bell, 11 lap old mediums. Phaser again, 11 lap old softs. Who's going to have the benefit of these tyres? Edster's in a great position on even fresher soft tyres than a lot of these guys. And then further back, you got really, really fresh soft tyres for everybody else. To drive through for Mikel, of course, though, from his safety car penalty beforehand. But here goes everybody down the front straight. It's, again, another great, great restart from Bilal Khan. He was ready and waiting. And once again, Jay Rasta this time, the victim, left caught napping. Tries and throws all of his ERS at this one as he barrels it down the straight. But again, it's huge. It's all changed at the back. Aaron Chard has been overtaken by Robbie Bell. Edsters also overtakes Phaser in the back of your picture, as now they're going to be going side by side around turn 3. It's going to be another dart to the inside there for Zenik behind as he tries to find a way around the outside here of Phaser, but there's going to be no room at the in. Now going to have to try and find his way up the inside at turn 5. No, not on offer, I'm afraid, this time around. Zenik desperate to make up positions. You can see that John Nicholson behind has lost out a lot of time on Mikel diving into the pit lane, so he's going to really have to get his foot down and press on here as Joshua Johnston on those fast, fresh, soft rubber is going to try and close right up to the back of these guys here. Up to the outside once again, tries and goes Zenik, but it's great defensive driving here from Adam Lockett. Phaser once again gets it all right, and then up the inside comes an opportunistic Joshua Johnston, the powerhouse himself, trying to do better on Zenik. Off onto the gravel, tyres getting all kinds of dusty. It's very good racing. Robbing is racing here, but again, not going to be enough to get on by. Phaser holds on for another lap here as Zenik, I'm sure, will try and put all of his power into getting by the Aston Martin on this straight. Once again, you see the battery being deployed surely here by Zenik, but not enough once more to try and get on by. The cars up front not close enough to make moves on each other either. Aaron Chard really struggling in the wake of the Red Bull ahead of him, and that Red Bull is not gaining the time on Jay Rasta. Jay Rasta, these soft tyres are doing it still for him. He's going to have to try and stick with Khan. Joshua Johnston, I think, has just been overtaken by Jono at the back of the field, at the back of your picture now. Jono looking to try and make a move up on the inside of Zenik. It's, oh my goodness, what is that? That's so brutal. He takes out Phaser with a hit to the rear and then barges past Zenik on his way into P6. That's going to have to be reviewed, certainly, after the race. Very aggressive driving from the reserve driver, Jono Nicholson there, but even still, Edsters is his next target on the track. He's driving his way back up to a podium position. Here we go. What has this man got in the locker for us here today? Is there anything left for him? Has he got a little bit more to squeeze out of this car? Obviously, he's really been hindered in the opening parts of these safety car restarts, and now this time around, He's really looking to try and lay down the hurt. A little bit of a tap onto the rear of Edsters this time around. All the battery being deployed. He's in the slipstream. He's got that straight line speed over Edsters. The battery being deployed. He is through. And now up ahead, you can see that that's Aaron Shard negotiating the likes of Robbie Bell, and he will not want to see this man in his rearview mirror. He will not want to see these fresh softs on their way up the inside through turn 3. Huge amounts of drive, huge amounts of traction, huge amounts of braking performance for Jono Nicholson as he slots into P4, and an opportunistic Edsters tries and slots into P5 behind him. Aaron Shard still fights him. It's a tap at the front and it's a hit in the rear. Kept his nose in, and a big squirmy exit there for Edsters. Those guys are going to lost a lot of time. That's a disaster for Aaron once again. The end of the race where it all comes undone, just as it did in Imola last week. Now Johnny looking for redemption, trying to get back on the podium here. He's got Robbie Bell in his sights, switches to the inside, gets it all kinds of wrong, I feel there. Manages to collect the car though, and doesn't make the move this time around. Gonna have to wait for that big DRS straight unless he feels a move coming into turns 11, 12 and 13. It'll definitely be brave if he does. He's already posting the car up the inside for 13. He's getting ready to lick the stamp and put it in the box for turn 13. Here we go. Onto the straight. He's going to have DRS. He's going to have to try his best to catch up with the ailing Jay Rasta ahead in this final 2 laps of the race. He makes his way into P3. He weaves in front of Robbie Bell to let him know, and then makes it nice and easy for himself in towards turn 1. Edsters also fighting with his teammate here now. If surely these soft tyres are going to be doing much better than Robbie Bell's mediums. Those old 11 lap old plus now mediums. 15 lap old mediums, I digress. As even now, Johnny with a mountain to climb, still trying to haul himself onto the back of Jay Rasta, whose soft tyres must be in absolute bits. There's a yellow flag in Sector 1. I believe that is going to end up being Meikle, if I'm not mistaken, who's made a mistake there in the first sector. But now Jono with it all to do. Turn 9, all the mechanical grip for him. He's going to launch an attack up to the back of Jay Rasta on these ailing softs. Not going to make the move in towards turn 10, but it's going to be enough to try and press Jay Rasta into a mistake potentially here through turn 11. He's gone wide, and that's the one that he wanted. That is the move that he wanted to make in towards this final straight. He needs to get enough of a gap now that Jay Rasta won't come back at him down this front straight. He's got 3/4 tenths of a second. It's enough, I think, if he turns the battery on, because Rasta behind does not have enough battery to really fight this, but neither does Jono. They're both going to be tooth and nail in towards the braking zone. This is not a move you want to make, Rasta, and once again, Johnny holds on. He now has a big gap to try and make up to Khan, but with that 3-second time penalty, will it even matter? He just needs to try and get as far away from this group behind as he conceivably can. Just needs to keep pressing on for this lap whilst these tyres are still in a good spot. It's been a shame here for a number of drivers. It's been pretty whack racing standards throughout most of this race, but there's been one man who's far and away been the shining light of this Grand Prix, who has raced with pretty much, apart from one incident at the beginning, care, etiquette, and a huge amount of racecraft, patience, and discipline. It's Khan up front. He has managed to control this race from the second he took the lead on lap 14 to now in lap 33. From 14th on the grid, I don't think there's much way in which he loses this race without a mistake. It has been an absolutely sensational drive from Bilal Khan, your championship leader. 2 wins from 2. Even with a qualifying ban, he cannot be stopped. Off the way he goes. He is your winner today at the Spanish Grand Prix. Jono Nicholson comes home in P2 on track, but it's going to be P4 in the end with his penalty. Robbie Bell narrowly manages to make his way into P3, with Aaron Shard slotting in P5. Edster's penalty puts him back down in P7. It is a tight old race. It is a good old race, and it is one which we most certainly won't forget for the absolute litany of incidents after a safety car restart. Meikle will come home in P10 to get the final points place. Not the race that he'd have hoped for, I'm sure. Afro gets a respectable P11. Manages to at least bring the car home, which is definitely a result at the end of the day for him. Zenik, one of your drivers who we thought really would have something, unfortunately does not. P8 for Zenik at the end of the race. A bit of a similar story to last week. And looks like, you're right, Dommy, the steward's office is going to be booked up until Monday with the incidents in that race, especially after the safety car restarts. So, all is fair in love and war, but not all will be fair in the steward's office. It's McLaren on the top step, though. A great win for Edster. Sorry, for Edsters? What am I talking about? For Khan, it is going to be Robbie Bell in P3. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Jay Rasta takes home P2 honours. A fantastic result for him. Fastest lap does not go to him. It goes to Johnny Nicholson, of course, with a 13.6. So an extra point for Johnny. But a huge race, a great race, and another exciting thriller here in TOTL. We'll see you another time. Thank you guys very much for watching. We'll see you on the other side. Join us next week for the next race. We'll see you then.
He's neck and neck with Lewis Hamilton. Vettel is alongside and ahead. Look at that! How's that? A colossal event backside. Hamilton's going to try again, this time on the inside and comes to the inside.